Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Humans in 5.
Look, we know quite a lot of us are getting pretty tired of hearing about the coronavirus pandemic. It's a scary time with literally non-stop news articles coming out about the impacts of the virus, completely contradictory policies about how to deal with it, and how it's changing our work and social lives.
But it's not just journalists who are keeping busy as a result of COVID-19. Researchers are also taking this opportunity to highlight the relevance of their studies to everyday life, including the current pandemic.
Researchers Hugo Zeberg and Svante Pääbo, both from the Max Planck Institute for Evolutionary Anthropology, recently completed a study looking at the genetic factors that could be involved in why some people are at a greater risk of dying from a COVID-19 infection. They found that a stretch of DNA responsible for reactions to COVID-19 was inherited from Neanderthals about 60,000 years ago.
But as always, it's not that simple.
Let's back this up a little bit and take a closer look at the study. We should say before anything else that this study hasn't yet been formally published in a journal. This means that the authors probably have had some feedback on their work, but not the same level of review that researchers get in the publishing process. That means that some of their conclusions may look a bit different once the study is properly published.
Zeberg and Pääbo based their study on the work of David Ellinghaus and colleagues, who this year published a study focusing on COVID-19 patients in Italy and Spain, who demonstrated a variation on chromosome 3 in their genome that was linked with respiratory failure due to COVID-19.
The area of interest on chromosome 3 is known as a single nucleotide polymorphism, or also known as a SNP. SNPs are the most common type of genetic variation among people. Each SNP represents a single difference in a nucleotide, which is one of the building blocks of DNA. So a SNP might mean that instead of a cytosine being in place, thymine might be there instead.
The SNP on chromosome 3 that was linked to breathing issues with COVID-19 is in the 3p21.31 region. This location gave a starting place for Zeberg and Pääbo, who compared the data from living people to the ancient genomes of Neanderthals. Our Neanderthal relatives from Asia and Eastern Europe showed this same variation on chromosome 3.
The researchers also compared what they found in Neanderthal DNA with the genomes of living people from around the world. The Neanderthal risky region for COVID-19 was found to be rare or absent in most of East and Southeast Asia, and also absent in Sub-Saharan Africa. In Europe, it occurred in around 5 to 10% of the population. In present-day samples from India, Pakistan, and Bangladesh, the risky region variant was quite common, in 40% or more in some places.
This is all well and good for the results in this study, but it's not a great idea to apply genetic information from ancient hominins to a current pandemic. The presence or absence of specific gene variants in Neanderthals reflects the evolutionary pathway of that species. Whilst we do share some of that pathway with them, Neanderthals had their own challenges which shaped their genes.
And for those who are suffering the most as a result of this pandemic, Neanderthal links may not matter. The highest incidence of COVID-19 in the US is among Black and Latinx communities, reflecting ongoing systemic issues of poverty and racism rather than genetic links with Neanderthals.
There's plenty to learn when it comes to the genetic history of pandemics, but we also have to address the social, political, and economic factors that play into the spread of COVID-19, so we can better help out now.
Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time on Humans in 5.
And don't forget to subscribe!